Alright, we're doing exponential growth and decay. We're only doing the front side of the note sheet today.
Decay.
Decay. D-E-C-A-Y. Decay. Alright. So here's the general formula for growth and decay. Okay, I'm going to explain what all these variables mean. So the first thing we start with is the A sub t. A sub t is the amount of the object, or whatever it is, at time t. So t could be like 10 years. So you're saying that's how much there is at 10 years. Or that's how much something is worth at 10 years. Or if t is 6 months, that's how much is left after 6 months.
I think
Amount, yeah. Amount at time t. And then you have a little a here. You have a little a here. Little a is the initial amount, what you start with. So maybe you deposited or you opened a bank account or savings account with $100. Put that phone away.
Oh.
Right? So then you start with, that's your initial amount of $100. R is the rate at which it's either decreasing or increasing. And it's in decimal form. The rate in decimal form. Or it could be a fraction, okay? But it's never as a percent. You're not going to write that as a percent. In a word problem, they will give it to you as a percent, and you have to change it to a decimal. Okay? And then we have finally t, that's the time. Right? That's the time. That's the time variable. So it could be, remember what I said up here? A of t could be, what is the amount at 6 months? So that will be your 6 months right here. That's where you're going to plug it into the formula. The 6 will be going to the t. Now, this symbol here, what is that symbol? Plus or minus, okay? So that means it's going to be plus or minus. It's not going to be both of them. So plus means you have growth. And minus means you have decay. You either have growth. I'm pointing at that plus or minus sign. So if it's a plus sign, you have growth. If you have minus, you have decay. Notice there's a 1 here. So if whatever you have here is bigger than 1, it's growth. Or if it's less than 1, it's decay. Because sometimes it'll be worked out. Right? Because if r is a decimal, you could have like, if r is 0.1, you could be 1.1 instead of me writing 1 plus 0.1. Okay? Or if it's decay, it'd be 1 minus 0.1, which would be 0.9. Alright, so this part's not too bad. And the homework is only from the front side of this. We will be doing the back side tomorrow. So let's look at some examples. You have exponent. So this is asking the question, is this growth or decay? What is this one?
Growth.
Growth, that's right. The initial value is what you're starting with, so that's going to be 5, whatever it is. 5 units. Now, what is the rate of growth in this problem?
0.06.
So it's 0.06. Now, if you change that to a percent, that's 6%. Okay, and I'm doing that here because in many of the word problems, I'm going to give you the percent, and you need to be able to change it to a decimal. Do you understand how to change 6% into a decimal?
Yes.
All right. Okay, let's look at the next example. Is this growth or decay?
Decay.
Okay, if this is bigger than 1, if the base of the exponent is bigger than 1, it's growth. Right? It's 1.12, so that's bigger than 1. So that's growth. So what's the initial amount? 1,200, just the number out here. So 1,200. And what is the rate of growth? It'd be 0.12. It's how far you are from 1. You just subtract 1. So it's 0.12. What is 0.12 as a percent? 12%. All right, next example. Is this growth or decay? Decay. 0.72 is smaller than 1, so it's decay. What's the initial amount? 18. Right, that's the number in the front, the initial amount. What is the rate of decay?
0.72.
You're going to use 0.72 to find the rate, but it's not 0.72. It's going to be how far you are from 1. How far is 0.72 from 1?
I don't like subtracting in my head.
28.
0.28. So you just do 1 minus 0.2, I'm sorry, 1 minus 0.72 and you get that, that's the rate here. 28%. Good.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So the first one was because it's already a plus sign, and the other one's good because it's bigger than one.
Yes. Okay, next part is that, go ahead.
So when do you need to like do the how far is it from one thing?
When you don't have this plus or minus business, when they give it to you this way,
Oh, okay.
right? Her question was, when do you do the how far from 1? When they give you just a number here instead of an expression like 1 plus something. So most of these are in that form, right? Only the first one they gave it to you that way. And most of the time we give it to you this way. The 1.12, the 0.72, the 1/4, okay? So is this one growth or decay?
Decay.
Decay, because that number is smaller than 1. How far am I from, I'm sorry, what's the initial amount? 2. Now, how far am I from 1?
0.75.
0.75, very good. Okay, you guys didn't tell me 3/4. So that's 75%. All right, this is a tricky one. Is this growth or decay?
Growth.
Growth, because 4 is bigger than 1. What's the initial amount?
4. Could it be 1?
1. Very good. The initial amount. And so did he.
Or say before you.
No.
No,
I
you
said-
guys
I
did
said
it about the
before.
same time. You guys
No,
did
I
about
said
the-
it before.
Okay.
Then.
All right. It's okay. Well, it's recorded. All you gotta do is listen
Yeah,
to the
we'll see.
video.
We'll see.
All right. So, what is the rate of growth? What is the rate of growth when it looks like this?
Is there no growth?
1.
It's not 1. How far is that from 1?
So you're
Write it down.
3.
Negative 3?
It's well, it's 3 more than 1.
That was a
Right?
1.
How far
If it was negative 3, that would be decay. You're
So we
growing.
don't count back from 1 when it's
Yeah,
already
how
1.
far are you from 1? Well, we'll just talk about how far. So, it's actually 3. What is 3 as a percent? 300%. So, it's growing. 300% rate.
How'd you get 3?
4 minus 1,
The decimal.
right? It's the 4 is the base of the exponent. 4 is the base of the exponent, so it's 4 minus 1. That's how I got 3. Okay. Alright, so we're going to write an equation, and then we're going to solve it for something. A new car costs $209,000. So I'm going to write A sub t. So I'm using the formula up here. I'm using the formula up here to do this. Okay? Equals 29,000. That's the initial amount. 29,000. 1. Now, it says depreciates. What kind of thing is depreciate? Is that growth or decay? Decay. So that means it's going down. What kind, what's the decimal for 15%?
0.15.
0.15. And then the exponent is t.
Wait, so do we get a, oh, no.
Okay? So that's the basic equation for example 2a.
So just write an equation?
Yeah, that's all it says. That's all you want for 2a. If you gave me this, right? If you gave me 29,000 and you wrote 0.85 to the t, that is also perfectly okay. Right? Because 1 minus 0.15 is 0.85. Now in part B, they're going to say, what is the value of the car? So we're going to say A sub 10, that is you plugging in 10, and you're using your formula. Let's use the second one, 0.85 to the 10th power. Okay, so all I did was plug in 10 into that equation
Well, we have to work this out.
on a calculator. So I'm going to put it on the calculator. So it's 29,000. 0.85 to the 10th, right? If your calculator, when you press the exponent button, actually produces an exponent, you don't need parentheses for up here, okay? If your calculator just prints a little caret symbol, you have to use parentheses. If you have more than one number up here. Right now, the answer is $5,709.36. So after 10 years, my car is worth $5,709.36. Okay? Example C. Example C. The Holte Freeze had 20 stores in 2018, and the owner plans to open an additional 8% annually. So I'm writing my formula. He started with how many? 20. So that's my initial value. 1, is it increasing or decreasing?
Increase.
So it's a plus sign. And what's the rate? 8%. Let's write that as a decimal. What's 8%? Huh? 0.08 is 8%. That's right. And then we put a t up there as an exponent. Okay. So that's the answer to C. When it says write a function to represent the number of stores open after t years. You can, if you give me this 1.08 to the t, that's perfectly fine. Okay, that's perfectly fine. Either one of those is fine with me. Alright. How many stores will Holte Freeze have by the year 2025? So what is t equal to if the year is 2025? 7. How did you get that?
25 minus 18.
Right? All she did was take the 25 year minus the initial year. And that's how she got 7. Okay? And then we're just going to plug that in. So it's a sub 7 equals 20 times 1.08 to the 7. Pull out the handy dandy calculator. 20 parentheses 1.08 close parentheses raised to the 7. And I got, okay, do I have 34.3 stores? No. How many stores do I got? 34. So make sure you answer the question where it makes sense, okay? You can't have half a store unless a tornado came through, but he's not going to build a store with a tornado. Okay, stupid joke. All right. So a sub 7 is 34. So you got 34 stores after 7 years. And that's the end of the example.